Welcome to Takeover, the most underrated sports debate show on YouTube, and we're back with another show for you guys. We're in MetLife Stadium, start of NFL season, and another Takeover episode for you guys.
As you know, my name is Josh.
My name is Deandra.
My name is Cam, and this is Takeover.
We play it all in night. Need it all in advance. The opposition know we're ready for it. Like a supper we eating, it won't be the last. Grind all the muscle, pull up. Parker right on the grass. We coming in, take over everything, run it up. Nothing holding me back. 3 in the wood, rushing. I don't like Dutch, don't even matter, you know I'm a face. And when I roll a paper, I like to go double. Run up a check, flip a W, make it an M. I need a couple.
Following their very disappointing Game 5 loss, what's next for Giannis and the Bucks?
Well, first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge just how terribly wrong I was on the last episode. I said that the Bucks were going to come out of the East, and I was very, very far off the mark. So for that, I would like to apologize. So now we can talk about how they messed up, and I have a lot to say, so we're going to see if I can keep it down. First of all, Chris Middleton should not be the number 2. I know y'all are probably going to talk about that too, but Chris Middleton works best as a catch-and-shoot, kind of do-it-all 3-and-D wing. There's no way he should be going ISO on anybody, because if there's one thing this series showed, it's that he cannot create his own shot effectively against decent defenders when he has actual defensive attention on him. I mean, I'm sure he can go for 50 in a meaningless February game against the Charlotte Hornets, but I don't think he can do it in the playoffs. Eric Bledsoe, I want to stop short of demanding that they trade him, because I think he is very important to what they do on a defensive basis, because he is still one of the best defensive point guards in the NBA. But, dude, you can't score at all in the playoffs. He can't shoot. He struggles to finish around the rim, it seems like, when people are actually paying attention to him. And he has no in-between game. So, if they keep him, he has to become the 4th option, is basically what I'm saying. So I would say the only thing that they can do from a personnel standpoint is to go out and get another shot creator, a one-on-one shot creator preferably, a guy like a CJ McCollum or a Chris Paul, because this is where I get into my real take. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a transcendent talent, but he should not be trying to make his own shot from the top of the three-point line, because nobody respects him out there. He has shown no reason for anybody to step up and guard him outside the three-point line. So having him with the ball up top puts you at a disadvantage, because now they can sag back and they can build that wall closer to the basket. So really, I think the biggest problem in this series was Coach Bud. I sang your praises last episode, Bud, but after watching the way that you managed that series, you need to be called out. Giannis Antetokounmpo should not be ISOing from the top of the three-point line. He should be getting the ball in the post. He should be rolling to the basket. He should be giving the ball at the free throw line. Give him the ball where he is strong. Do not put him where he is weak and then try to make him do something. Honestly, Coach Bud either needs to have a stern talking to and told, you need to change your ways, or he needs to be shown the door, because I don't think he's the right coach for this team right now.
All right, a couple of takeaways I brought from that series. First of all, let's give a shout-out to Miami Heat. The way they defended Giannis, the way Eric Spoelstra out-coached Bud the whole entire series was nothing short of astonishing. When you look at Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, they all type of players that get out the mud. Those are the type of players that win playoff games. And we saw that Nick Nurse last year kind of gave out the blueprint to stop Giannis, and Eric Spoelstra took the blueprint and executed it the best way I've seen so far. And for me, Giannis got exposed in this series more than anything else. A lot of people want to talk about the others and what they didn't do. Giannis, Game 1, only had 18 points. Game 3, he put up 21 points but touched the ball 21 times. Game 4, he gets hurt, and we don't see him again. That's not a good showing from, you're supposed to be your MVP, you're a player that didn't want to guard Jimmy Butler, and then he can't score in the paint as well.
Whoa. He didn't want to guard. It's that he was doing what the coach said. He's deferring to the coach.
But as the best player, you have to check the other best player.
I agree with what you're saying about the mentality thing. Okay, that's the mentality thing. But I like the fact that Giannis put respect on his coach.
There's got to be a competitive fire there.
There is competitive fire, but he's doing what his coach told him to do.
That's got to be on Bud, too. Giannis, to me, underperformed in this series, and it tells, again, how high-usage players don't necessarily do well in the playoffs. I think Giannis had the most high usage during the regular season. You look at Russ, you look at James Harden, you look at Kobe Bryant earlier in his career. Those high usage players necessarily don't go exceed in the playoffs. And that's shown over and over and over again. And Giannis was another example. And to get to your point about the number 2 with Chris Middleton, to me, he's not. I mean, he can't be the number 2 as well, because he's To put it blatantly, he's like playoff P's lost cousin out there. I mean, he's shooting 39%.
He wasn't that bad.
He was that bad. Honestly, the times he showed up, he took like 20 to 30 shots, and they barely got there.
Everybody's forgetting.
And then he was shut down by Evan Fournier in the first round. So I mean, there's a lot of soul searching to do from Milwaukee. I think some of it needs to be on Bud as well. So I mean, what can they do to get better? I mean, you got to look at maybe Chris Paul or, like you said, CJ McCollum, someone who else can make shots. Like I think Max Kellerman said it best. I don't think.
Damn it, I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah, I don't think Giannis is Pippen, but he may be Shaq.
Okay, so in the situation that everything is happening, the Bucks in this time now, they should either try to convince Giannis to stay unless he signs the extension. And of course he says he wants to play with the Bucks, but how many superstars have we heard say that and then jump ship the next season? So I think the Bucks, as of right now, should cater to Giannis' dominance, and many people will not like what I'm about to say, but I feel like Giannis is more dominant than he is skilled. So what you need to do is get a shot creator, like you said, get somebody who can go get their own bucket. However, everyone's talking about the Chris Paul situation, but I don't think they have the resources to get a high-end player like that, because if they do go for that, they would have to get rid of nearly almost all of their supporting cast to be able to afford a player like Chris Paul. But what I do think they should do, they can take certain players such as George Hill, who's on a non-guaranteed contract until 2022, and Ilyusova. Both of their contracts together make $18 million. You could easily put that together and get a player like somebody from OKC again, which is Dennis Schroeder, Tim Hardaway Jr. And it's a stretch, but Derrick Rose, you could possibly get him. He's not the MVP player. He's not the MVP player that we know and love, but
wasteland that is called Detroit.
Is he gonna stay healthy enough to play?
That's what I was about to say, but he can still provide things that Giannis should look for while this whole mess is going on. Think about the head coach who was above average and cannot make key adjustments in playoff time. And go back a little bit to think about Malcolm Brogdon. That was to me, in my opinion, that was one of the worst things the Bucks could have ever done for the organization. And it shows that as an organization that has billions of dollars or millions of dollars at the time, you did not want to spend money to keep one of the key players. So are you really that committed to winning? And Giannis, do you want to stay committed to a team that doesn't seem that committed to winning? So that's what my thoughts on the subject.
I think they messed up when they maxed out Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
I mean, they paid what they had to, but I don't think they should have paid it. Anyway, moving on. We're going to talk about some football now because we've all missed football. The NFL season is returning tonight, Thursday night. Texans-Chiefs is going to be a good one. But we're going to go the way of the people that work at these big sports corporations, and they do the super early Super Bowl predictions. I want to hear, what do you guys think? Who's making it to the chip?
Out of the AFC, I feel like there's no one stopping Kansas City at this point. I mean, you got Mahomes coming off a 26 touchdown, 5 interception season. He looks like undoubtedly the best quarterback in the league. I don't see any. I mean, the receiving core is the best as well. It's too much speed on one team.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
And they add Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the run game, so there's more build over there.
Wait. Can I guess who's coming out of the NFC?
Oh, go ahead, sure.
You're definitely going to say it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No.
Sure?
It's the team who's going to win the division.
So the Falcons.
Oh, we're close. One more.
The Panthers.
Whoa, you just skipping over them.
Well,
one more team, right? No?
You should.
No?
I'm not
Okay.
gonna say
NFC, it's no doubt the New Orleans Saints are coming out of the NFC. I said it last year, couple of roughs in the first round. Hey, you get caught up sometimes. Look. But if you look at New Orleans, 28-3. All right. 28-3. Let's be careful.
Minneapolis Miracle.
But in the Super Bowl, we got one, right?
Minneapolis Miracle.
Yours is weird. It's
Minneapolis
weird. We're still looking for it.
Bounty Gate.
Yeah, everyone get it?
I can keep bringing it.
But we keep winning.
Until you get to the playoffs.
Okay, sure. Do y'all get to the playoffs?
We used to.
You see, you keep interrupting my whole take. You just interrupted my whole take.
I gotta antagonize where I can.
Sheesh. On the offensive side of the ball, anyway, the New Orleans Saints have a majority of weapons, whether it's Taysom Hill, Drew Brees. They got Emmanuel Sanders, Michael Thomas, arguably the best receiver in the league. All on that one team with Alvin Kamara is there as well. So you look at all the offensive power they have. They have the same power on defense with Cam Jordan, Davenport, Rankins, Demario Davis, and a shutdown corner in Marcus Lattimore. I barely see any holes in this New Orleans Saints team, and I believe they're going to come out the NFC this year.
Okay. So, I see what you're saying with the Chiefs, but I felt like that was too predictable, and I didn't want to go with that. So, I decided to go with, I believe is the next best, would be the Ravens for the AFC. So, a lot of people talk about the slip-up that they had in the playoffs. However, a lot of people forget that in the span of 4 weeks, the Ravens went against some elite quarterbacks in Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, and Deshaun Watson, and the closest margin of winning was 14 points. So although they did have that little slip up, they can bring it against elite teams. And you look at their offense, they added J.K. Dobbins, Devin Duvernay from Texas, and Hollywood Brown. Although he got injured, he was going off right before he went injured. And if he can stay healthy, he can be productive, and I think he will have a breakout season. And they added Patrick Queen from LSU to the defense and Calais Campbell.
I'm worried about him. All right, go ahead.
But I think in order to beat this team, you're gonna need a lot of depth, and you're gonna have to be very physical because this Ravens team is it's gonna be very physical. So for the NFC, I feel a lot of people may be sleeping on the Seahawks a little bit. Because when you look at Russell Wilson, of course, I believe he's one of the most underrated QBs in the league. Okay, so he leads the league in touchdown passes over quarterbacks like Tom Brady, Breeze, and Patrick Mahomes. And they just added Jamal Adams. And when you look at the pass catchers, you have Lockett, he had his first 1,000-yard season last season, and Metcalf over 900 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 58 catches. And you look at their tight ends, Greg Olsen, who they got. Although he is injury prone, he did manage to catch 52 catches from Kyle Allen. So, and you have 2 1,000-yard rushers and Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde. And I believe they have a very improved offensive line. So I think this is a lot of Russell Wilson has a lot of weapons that I think he hasn't had necessarily before. So I feel like they're gonna come out.
I'm going to be honest, I was antagonizing Cam earlier. I personally think the New Orleans Saints are coming out of the NFC.
Look at that, for no reason.
Yeah, well, Cam, you know what? I got to take the chances when I can.
Go ahead, what you say. Go ahead.
I apologize for interrupting your take, too.
It's fine.
I think the Saints are the most complete team in the NFC. It's hard to find a hole there, as you said. They've got a solid secondary, good linebackers, great pass rush.
Your Apple's gone. Eli Apple's gone.
And then it's addition by subtraction, which I didn't even realize was possible until I started watching sports. And then on offense, you've got arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Drew Brees, the slant specialist, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, all that good stuff, and, Weapon X, Taysom Hill. I just don't think there's anybody else in the NFC. While there are plenty of people that are going to challenge him, I don't see San Francisco getting back, losing the game like that. Take it from someone who knows. Blowing a lead in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl does something to a team. Does something. And Kyle Shanahan knows. Anyway, in the AFC, I'm agreeing with Cam again. I think it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. As much as I want to pick somebody else, I want to be different. Believe me. I want to seem trendy. I want to have that piping hot take. But Kansas City has the best wide receiver group, arguably one of the best running back groups, great offensive line, and the godsend that is Patrick Mahomes. I don't see how anybody is going to stop that offense. And the defense is pretty dang good by itself. And they're getting Juan Thornhill back, which is going to be even bigger. So we finally agree on something, Cam.
I know. Once in a blue moon. Question for you, DeAndre, because, you talk about the Ravens being a very offensive team, and they have Lamar Jackson. They beat these teams by high margins. But it seems as when teams load the box in the playoffs and Lamar is forced to throw, he can't do it in the playoffs. He hasn't done it once. He's going to do it versus Tennessee. And what was the other team they played? I think they lost to the Chargers one year in the playoffs. What do you think the Ravens have to do different to get out the first round?
Just like other players, certain players will be training, and I believe Lamar is going to be training as well, and he's going to get better just like other quarterbacks. So just like I feel although like I said, they had the little slip up that season. I feel like he's going to get better along with all the acquired weapons that they got.
So in a shootout with Kansas City, who you taking, the Ravens or Kansas City?
Kansas City.
If I'm thinking logically, I'm saying Kansas City, but it's too predictable. So
I
I'm
feel
gonna go
like
with the Ravens.
I feel like the biggest problem with Baltimore is they don't have a big-bodied receiver that they can really lean on. I feel like most of their guys are like I'm not gonna say the Hollywood Brown types, but they're kind of built the same way in that they're smaller and they're more quick. They don't have the Julio Jones that can go up and get something, or even like a Michael Pittman who they could have picked up in this draft. I think that's the biggest thing, is that they haven't given Lamar like that one big body type. I mean, they have Mark Andrews, but he's a little slower. I feel like if they had like a bigger body receiver that plays outside the numbers, it would be better. But because they have guys like Duvernay and then Brown, it's a lot more, small, fast.
But we're going to have one more section. We're going to do cop it or block it once again this season. And you guys know the rules of how this goes. Somebody's going to show out a take, and then the other two are going to say cop it or block it. Who you want me to?
This NBA draft class, the 2020 draft class, this is the worst draft class that we have seen since 2000. There we go.
I'm going to stop watching the draft after the first 5 picks. That's the only thing I have to say.
I'll keep watching to see Devin Vassell because he went to my high school. But other than that,
I watch Isaac Okoro, ripping from Keisha as well.
Okay. Do you guys think that Luka is a top 5 player in the league?
Right now?
As of right now.
As of right now. So quick. All right,
because I think Luka is good, especially for a 20-year-old. He has shown wisdom beyond his years. The fact that he has led this team to a 7th seed as early as he has is impressive. But I feel like calling him top 5 is completely knocking a few people down off his pez. Giannis,
okay.
LeBron,
okay.
Kawhi Leonard,
all right,
right?
Maybe.
Honestly, Jokic.
Jokic is better than Luka Doncic right
Luka.
now. That's a take.
Yes.
Are you for real?
Yes, because he does more.
At what?
He does more on defense. He does more. Jokic is not a good defender or a great defender. Don't take that out of context. But he is a solid defender. He does enough in the.
So you could tell Jokic to go get a bucket. 10 seconds left in the game. Go get a bucket. It's only you.
I think you could.
You ought to stop.
Over Luka?
I think you could. I'm not saying over Luka, but I'm saying he didn't say over Luka.
Jokic is not a top 5 player. Let's just check that.
I think Jokic is a top 5 player.
I can't believe you said that.
I believe it. I can believe it.
Averaging legit a triple double
in the playoffs, and that's because KP missed like half the series.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's a conversation. I think you're insane half the time. So it's.
I think Luka will be there in. Honestly, I think in a year, I think he could get there, but I don't think he's there yet.
All right, for my question, okay. Cop it or block it. The Ravens make it to the AFC Championship this year. So they get out of the first round. You both copped it. Why?
Because who in the AFC is going to challenge them other than the Chiefs?
The Titans got you.
The Titans are a contender. I'll give you that. The Titans have a shot. But other than that, I mean, I don't see anybody else making any big strides to where I think they can reasonably go against the Baltimore Ravens defense, because the Ravens defense, in all honesty, has so much talent on every single level.
I feel like I gave my reason.
I'll take about it. We good.
All right.
That's
going to be the end of this episode. You guys have anything to say?
I just want to say congratulations to John Morant for winning Rookie of the Year.
Anything else?
Shout out to the Braves for scoring 29 runs against the Marlins.
That was amazing, yeah.
It was beautiful, and it was the only thing that we could do to win a game because we don't have any pitching. Go Braves, chop on. World Series coming.
Last thing I want to say, hopefully we get justice for Breonna Taylor still out there. And secondly, it took a whole pandemic for him to win Rookie of the Year. But that's not a...
We play it all in night. Yeah, need it all in advance. The opposition already ready for it. Like a supper we eating, it won't be the last. Grind all the muscle, pull up. Parker right on the grass. We coming in, take over everything, run it up. Nothing holding me back. 3 in the wood, rushing. I don't like Dutch, don't even matter, you know I'm a